Information in context. It's one of the great skills of what a great real estate agent does. And one of our favorite websites in Australia is SQM Research. And when you go onto their website and you go to total property listings, you can type in any postcode in Australia and it tells you the number of properties that have been on the market in 0 to 30 days, 30 to 60, 60 to 90 days, 90 to 180 days, and 180 days plus. Why this is so important is that if you're in an area that ultimately has a really long days on market, presenting that information allows the owner to know that they must be careful about choosing an agent that over-promises on price but under-delivers in terms of process. But yet, if you're in a dynamic inner city market that moves really quickly, then you've got to talk about what you do to ramp up that competition during the first 7, 14 to 21 days of the actual campaign. The next conversation is to learning how to have better quality conversations when it comes to sell marketing. Mr. and Mrs. Owner, what we know is that ultimately you should be spending about 0.5 to 1% of the property's value on the marketing. So if your property was $2 million, that would be somewhere between $10,000 to $20,000. Just so you know, our most expensive campaign that we've ever done has been at $68,000. Now, I'm not going to ask you to spend that tonight, but it is a really important conversation when we consider our marketing packages. Now that you've spoken about $10,000 to $20,000, now that you've spoken about the $68,000 campaign, when you present a marketing campaign at $12,000 or $14,000, it ultimately isn't a surprise. And this is about learning how to present information in context so that people are in a position that they get it and they're not surprised by the conversations that you have. Now, this is going to be an important conversation because what a lot of us are now doing is we're using some incredible charts that was provided to us by Shore Financial. And this is the whole conversation around borrowing capacity. And did you know that ultimately borrowing capacity has been reduced by about 40% since the height of COVID? Now, what I want you to think about, that's almost like someone could go out there, maybe they could go and borrow $1 million, and right now they can only borrow $600,000 because of the change in what's happened in relation to interest rates. Not only is it borrowing capacity, but it's also too about affordability. So how much does it cost to actually service a $1 million home loan? Now that $1 million home loan, the cost to service it has gone up by nearly 66% over the course of the last few years. So this is an interesting conversation. Mr. and Mrs. Owner, did you know how much it would cost to service a home loan if you were buying this property again today? And do you know what's actually happened to the type of buyer that would be buying the home in terms of their borrowing capacity? This is all great information that allows people to really accept the current situation and then to be in a position that they look to the strategy of what we do next, make sure we actually get it sold, and we ultimately go to maximize our sale price.